In the year 17 AD, the most powerful man on earth was sitting alone in a military tent on the frozen banks of the Danube River. He was not counting his legions or drawing battle plans. He was writing in a private journal he never intended for anyone else to read. And in that journal, he wrote about a weakness that tormented him, his own anger. The man was Marcus Aurelius, Emperor of Rome. He commanded an empire stretching from Britain to Mesopotamia. He could execute any person with a word. Yet, in the private pages of what we now call the Meditations, he did not record victories or boast about power. He catalogued his failures of character, and he wrote to himself again and again about how to deal with the people who frustrated him, insulted him, and tested his patience. The most powerful man in the world was working on his temper. Here is what makes this remarkable. Marcus Aurelius did not write the Meditations for posterity. He wrote them for himself alone as private notes to correct his own behavior, which means every rule in that book is something he genuinely struggled with. And the rules he returned to most often were his 4 principles for dealing with anger. Why did an emperor need a personal system for anger? Because he saw what it did. Marcus Aurelius dealt with corrupt senators, unreliable generals, and enemies who worked against him in the shadows. He watched people around him explode in rage and destroy everything they had built. And he came to understand through hard personal experience that anger does far more damage than the original offense that triggered it. He stated this plainly in Meditations, Book 11. Consider how much more pain is brought on us by the anger and vexation caused by such acts than by the acts themselves. Your anger is not your defense. It is your second injury, and he had 4 rules for stopping it. The driver who cut you off is gone in 30 seconds. But the anger you nurse about it ruins the next hour. The colleague who embarrassed you in the meeting slept fine, but you replayed the scene at 2 in the morning. Marcus Aurelius is making a precise claim. The anger is the problem, not the trigger. Here are his 4 rules. Rule 1. Do not become what hurt you. When someone wrongs you, the instinct is retaliation. But Marcus Aurelius examined this impulse and rejected it entirely. He wrote in Meditations, Book Vic, the best way of avenging thyself is not to become like the wrongdoer. The best revenge is not punishment. It is preservation. When someone acts cruelly toward you and you respond in kind, you have not corrected the situation. You have only added yourself to the population of people who act that way. The wrongdoer did not need to change you. You changed yourself. Their character crossed over into yours the moment you imitated them. The wrongdoing has not been answered. It has spread, and you spread it. Marcus Aurelius understood that at the moment of injury, you face a precise choice. React from the wound, or respond from your values. If someone lies to you and you lie back, you have not taught them a lesson about honesty. You have taught yourself to be dishonest under pressure. The best retaliation against a person who acts without virtue is to continue acting with virtue. That is the only move that actually keeps you whole. Rule 1 is about character, but Rule 2 goes deeper into the nature of human beings themselves and why getting angry at them may be as irrational as getting angry at the rain. Rule 2. Understand that people cannot help being who they are. In Meditations Book VX, Marcus Aurelius wrote, "How cruel it is not to allow men to strive after the things which appear to them to be suitable to their nature and profitable. And yet, in a manner thou dost not allow them to do this, when thou art vexed because they do wrong." This addresses one of the deepest roots of anger, the expectation that other people will override their own nature for your convenience. When a selfish person acts selfishly, they are being what they are. When a fearful person lies to protect themselves, they are responding according to their conditioning. Your anger at them is not changing them. It is only tormenting you. And by being angry, you are demanding that they stop being what they are, which is as pointless as demanding that the sea stop being rough. You do not rage at a bee for stinging when you disturb it. The bee is being a bee. Human beings are the same. They are producing the output of their nature, their fears, their conditioning. This does not mean you passively accept harm. It means you stop personalizing it. The person who spoke sharply to you was a tired, anxious, threatened person doing what such people do. When you remove the story of personal targeting from another person's behavior, you remove the fuel from the fire of your anger. Rules 1 and 2 shift how you relate to the person who triggered you. But Rule 3 turns the lens entirely inward, and it is the most demanding of all 4. Rule 3. Let your good disposition be your armor. Marcus Aurelius believed the deepest response to anger is not a technique. It is character. In Meditations, book Intuitive, E hard, a good disposition is invincible if it be genuine. What will the most violent man do to thee, if thou continuest kind to him? And if, as opportunity offers, thou gently admonishest him, and calmly correctest his errors at the very time when he is trying to do the harm? Someone actively trying to harm you. And Marcus Aurelius asks, what can they actually do to you if your fundamental disposition remains genuinely kind and calm? Very little that truly matters. What a person can take from you through cruelty is limited to the external. They cannot touch your character unless you hand it to them by reacting from your worst impulses. The phrase, if it be genuine, is everything. A good disposition performed as a tactic collapses under real pressure. But if your disposition is grounded in the actual conviction that your character is your only true possession, then no external aggression can corrupt it. The person coming at you does not determine what you are. Only you do. This is what it means to have a good disposition that is genuine rather than performed. It is not a feeling of calm. It is a settled position about what actually matters. And a position taken from genuine values does not move under pressure. The first 3 rules are philosophy. Rule 4 is the practical instrument for the moment when anger has already arrived and your principles have not yet caught up with your nervous system. Rule 4. Measure the cost before you pay it. Marcus Aurelius returned constantly in the Meditations to the discipline of calculating what things actually cost before committing to them. With anger, the real cost is always higher than it appears in the heat of the moment. He stated this in Meditations book at Evra. Consider how much more pain is brought on us by the anger and vexation caused by such acts than by the acts themselves. Rule 4 in practice. The moment anger rises, perform a rapid, honest accounting. What will this anger actually cost you? Your clarity for the conversation you are about to have, your focus for the rest of the day, a night of decent sleep, the respect of anyone watching how you handle difficulty. And it will cost you all of this in exchange for what? For a few seconds of feeling powerful, followed by longer hours of regret. Marcus Aurelius ran this calculation every day as emperor. Surrounded by petty, unreliable, and occasionally treacherous people, he could have raged. Other emperors did. But he understood concretely that rage cost him more than whatever provoked it. An angry emperor makes poor decisions and drives away honest advisors. Once you genuinely internalize this, not as an intellectual position, but as a felt truth, the behavior that once felt like power starts to feel like loss before it even begins. 4 rules. Do not become what hurt you. Understand that people cannot help being who they are. Let your good disposition be your armor. Measure the cost before you pay it. Marcus Aurelius forged these in the daily friction of running an empire, writing to himself in private at night, trying to be better than he had managed to be that morning. Here is how to use them today. When someone says something that stings, give yourself 5 seconds before any response. In those 5 seconds, run Rule 4. What will my anger actually cost me? Then apply Rule 2. Is this person acting from malice or from their own fear and exhaustion? Then ask Rule 1. If I respond from anger, am I becoming who I want to be? And finally, call on Rule 3. Can I meet this from a place of genuine calm? You will not get this right every time. Marcus Aurelius did not get it right every time, and he was writing the rules. But every time you apply even one of these 4 rules in a real moment of friction, you are doing exactly what he did on the Danube, correcting yourself before you try to correct the world. If this way of thinking about anger resonates with you, subscribe to this channel. We go deep into Stoic philosophy every week. In the next video, we look at Epictetus, a man born into slavery who had every reason to be consumed by bitterness, and who instead built one of the most powerful frameworks for inner stability ever written. That video is coming soon. Until then, stay stoic.